I'm Davey.
I'm Misty.
DM Watts.
Unscripted.
Unedited.
Unapologetic.
Let's get it.
What is going on, everybody? I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And welcome to another episode of DM Watts Podcast. Go ahead and drink your water.
Okay, thank you.
She was about to. I just started in on it, but
He was like doing a countdown, and I'm like, okay.
yeah. So, hope everybody's okay out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I got nothing in this except there's a lot of things that happened from the last time we got on here, man.
Turn off your news. You'll be a lot happier.
Yeah, man.
That's all I got.
Yeah, we all saw what happened to the prior president. That no matter what side of the fence you're on, that sucks, and that is a tragedy.
It does, absolutely.
No matter if you like the guy or not, he
Absolutely.
he was an American president.
Absolutely.
And that is terrible news.
Amen.
So that's all I got to say about that.
Thank you.
We lost some good ones though.
Oh, we
lost
so
some
many
good
people.
ones
Like
all in a
my
week.
childhood is just
like back
mourning.
to back. Well, we got Richard Simmons passed away.
Yeah.
Dr.
Ruth.
Dr. Shannon Doherty
Doherty.
passed away, and then I know there were a few more.
Shelley Duvall.
Oh yeah, Shelley Duvall.
And my Shelley Duvall's fairy tales or bedtime stories, whatever it was called on HBO. Oh my god.
Man, we lost
that was
some.
my childhood.
We lost some great ones, like back to back to back. I'm like, here's the thing. Richard Simmons died the same day that the whole Trump thing happened. So it was not, people weren't really paying attention. I'm like, yeah, man, we lost.
And Bob Newhart.
And, oh, yeah, Bob Newhart.
That one hurt.
Man, that one was, everybody, at least from our generation, you may not remember who it is, but you remember seeing something about him when you were younger. Like, who was this guy?
Oh, well,
okay.
I used to
Even
watch
if you
Newhart
just changed
show.
the channel, you were like, oh, okay. Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah, we lost some good ones, man, and
we did.
But yeah, so anyway, hope everybody's all right out there. The heat's calmed down over here, so we're no longer melting. For the moment, anyway. For the moment.
For right now. The heat dome has broken.
It is chilled.
We
out
are
a
resuming
little
normal. Summertime woes.
Man. So, but either way, I hope this heat dome has not got everybody out. Y'all be safe out there.
It's Mad Max.
But I really like
the heat dome.
I really like the topic.
Good.
I just picked it out. It says, "What role does music play in culture?"
Huh.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because we were just literally singing a song.
Casanova. By Gerald Levert.
And
Casanova.
Don't get me started again.
I'm just saying. I'm
he
saying.
goes, "Where were you? Like when you hear the song, where are you?" And it was just cool because, again, the only time machine we have is music.
Of course.
And so it was just really cool because it's not even that it was a place as much as a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. So what does it play on culture? Man, it's the voice of a generation, whatever generation it's in.
Exactly. And I think, wow, like one of the biggest, obviously I'm going to go to the, rap culture, R&B culture, right? Because I look at where it was back then. Like when I was younger, and the role it played, because speaking from rap standpoint, anyway, rap has gone from, hip hop to hippie to the hip to the hip, you know what I'm saying, to like to you're a fool if you're doing drugs to you're a fool if you're not. So you know what I mean.
Or you're a fool if you're not selling them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We went from, good old. I guess there's no other way for me to call it other than nursery rhyme rap to be in the beginning. And then it was like, hey, you're a fool, you're doing drugs, Sugar Hill Gang and all them other
I
guys.
love it, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, I want to say Dr. Dre days is when it went to like the gangster rap, selling drugs and stuff like that, because I believe they brought that type of stuff, that era. And they're not saying, hey, go out and sell drugs. It's just that, MWA. It's just what they did.
Two Live Crew.
The Two Live Crew.
Yeah.
Which Two Live Crew nowadays is looked at as, that's all y'all get.
Who knew that it would be the soft rock of
Two Live
our
Crew,
lifetime?
Two Live Crew back then. Oh man, it was all over the news. Two Live Crew.
Yeah.
Me So Horny was a jam, and it was controversial.
Yeah.
Well, they had parents out stepping on their CDs
Yeah.
and like crushing the CDs. Like, I was like, yeah, because that really does something. But all right, but
That bumped.
yeah, Too Like Me So Horny. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I was in the household that I used to have to sneak and listen to it, but you know what I mean. Like, I still
well,
heard
and
the
that
song.
was it was cruising music
It
for
was.
me and the crew
Yeah,
in the East Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you did. You cruised to it all over,
Yeah.
Hayward, San Leandro, on your way to
Yeah.
San Jose to actually cruise. Like that's what we listened to.
Yeah, Be So Horny. 2 Live Crew. Uncle Luke. I mean, they
It's-
came out with a bunch of
well,
other stuff.
oh,
They had
great.
and which gave birth to the softer Me So Horny, which is Baby Got Back. Sir Mix-a-Lot. That was like the radio. This is okay to put on the radio. The Baby Got Back. However, it was still under some controversy too.
Well, but how did that influence culture? I mean, look at the Run DMC.
Okay,
look
yeah.
at I sound like an
okay.
old person. Look at the Run DMC.
Right.
How about Run DMC?
Yeah.
And then the Adidas.
So going
And the hat
yeah.
and the chain.
Yeah.
And all of that.
Everybody had my
and then watching
Adidas.
I still do. And then look at, how Walk This Way.
Oh man, talk about a cultural
having
shift.
that,
Like a mix there.
Yes.
It was like people didn't know what to
that
make
rock
of it at first, right?
with rap, and to see that Aerosmith and Run DMC was amazing.
It
I
was,
mean,
right? They had to come together like that?
right. But so I'm going to ask you this. So, I mean, obviously I believe that music is it's the voice of a generation.
Yeah.
But would you agree or disagree that it became more of a voice of a generation because of MTV, or was it already a strong voice?
That's a tough one because let's be honest here. When it came to hip hop and things like that, remember that they wasn't going to let that on there at first. So,
Sure.
yeah, at least from hip hop and the rap standpoint,
They definitely had to make way for it.
Right. Because hip hop, rap and all those things and hip hop and things like that, it was stronger in other areas than it was in like the East Coast. Hip hop, R&B was, hip hop was all over the place. Now, we were on the West Coast and the Midwest still had their things too.
Well, yeah, but not as strong as the East Coast.
But not as strong as the East Coast. But I think MTV played a part though. I think they played a really big part. That whole crossover with Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Yeah,
It's
that was
hard to
brilliant.
deny that one. The brilliance in that.
It
I
was
remember
brilliant.
seeing that on TV going, what?
It was so good.
What is that? Then I was like, but it's kind of cool though. It's kind of cool though. This is cool.
But I mean, before, because MTV was 1980, I want to say, when cable came out,
Yeah.
and only certain places had it. Wichita was one of the markets that actually had it, and so everybody that was watching a Wichita market, which like in Oklahoma, when I was a little girl, it was a Wichita market, so we got to have it.
Yeah.
Culturally, it was a way for us to then see, like, obviously you can tell by my hair, I'm a Cyndi Lauper girl,
Yeah.
always will be.
Yeah.
Like that, because I remember watching her and I remember thinking, oh my God,
Yeah.
you can do that. Like you can be an adult and
Yeah.
do that.
And do those
then,
things.
you got the Go-Go's and all, the Joan Jett and
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
So I was like, this was a huge,
Yeah.
influence on that. But if you listen to the music, but before that, we had Woodstock.
Yeah.
We had, folk singers and Vietnam era,
Yeah. So
war music kind of a thing.
and everything we're saying, there's culture mixed with that. The music is stemming from what's going on in the world at the time too. Remember,
That's
what I mean?
yeah.
Because you had the hip hop with the Run DMC and the Sugar Hill Gang, all them was like, hey, it's just about looking cool. You know what I mean? Like got your beatbox and so on, just enjoying life.
Right.
You know what I mean? And as things progressed, with riots and so on and so forth, people spoke through the music. Cops, and people spoke through that music. And a lot of the stuff, well, let's just take the riots, for example. When the riots happened, I only saw it on TV.
Sure.
I wasn't experiencing
You're right.
the thing with the
Yeah.
LA riots and stuff like that. However, NWA,
It's a hell of a time to live in California.
yeah, NWA came out and was like, bruh,
this
the
is
stuff
what's
you were
happening.
seeing is has been going on.
Yeah,
It's been going on. It's
Yeah.
just here's our life, and then so I think that can have an effect on the way that you're like, wait a minute, so shit ain't always sweet everywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, well, it is. You know
well,
what I mean?
but I mean, I can sit there and it's kind of a weird similarity,
Mhm.
but to draw folk music in the 60s
Yeah.
during Woodstock and draw a line to, hip hop of the 90s, of the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, no, they're talking about what's happening to them culturally,
Yeah.
and how like one side, of course, it's like love one another and hey,
Yeah.
smile on your brother,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one's F the police.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's still about what they feel and what's
Yeah.
happening to them.
But it's
it's hey, you need to hear this, and we need to get it in your
Yeah.
head that there's real problems out
Yeah.
here.
It sounds to me like it's the different sides of the coin, but same message. You know what I mean? Like, one is like, hey, love one another. We need to stop this. And the other one's like, yeah, but look what's happening to us.
Yeah.
You know what
We're
I mean? Like,
trying
you want us
to,
to do
but the
this,
police
but look
won't
at
let us.
look at what's going on. And it's not like they were speaking out on things that weren't happening in California. Like, no, man, stuff is crooked. There's crooked cops everywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but, from a culture standpoint, I also have to give a nod to country. Country has had an effect on culture. Whether I know that's not your forte, but it definitely has.
Okay, but early 90s, late 80s country was really good. It was really pop kind of culture-y. Really good dances came out of it.
Mhm.
Just good party music, fun music,
Yeah.
drinking beer music.
And
I get that. I get what you're saying, but
Mhm.
but I feel like country is so I can't believe I'm going to say this. Very self-centered.
country music?
Yeah,
Why do you say that?
because it's talking about the person's perspective, like usually the singer's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like very rarely is it, to me, guys, don't email me, don't at me. It's very one-sided. It is,
Okay.
she left me. She took the house. She took the
Mhm.
dog. That whole, and so now I'm going to go drink about it.
Mhm.
Or it's he's cheating on me, so I'm going to go destroy his truck. Like, it's not really, you know what I mean?
But
that's hard to, it's.
But that's also reaching a different type of culture. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, I mean, come on, we all know there's numerous cultures and different like that. I feel like that's reaching, a different, like, okay, so NWA, it's going about and saying, hey, this is an issue. These crooked cops and stuff is an issue, right?
Yeah.
And then you got country, which a big dynamic thing is like, hey, chilling on the tractor, or my girl
God
left
bless
me.
America,
Or God bless
or,
it. Yeah,
you
so
know,
and that's what I'm saying. It's
kind
like
of God and country type music.
right. And so when we talk culture, so it's all different types of cultures that they're going to be reaching out to. Country music reaches out to a different culture, but what shocked everybody is the crossovers, the country music crossovers.
Yeah.
Because I know when Nelly did that song with wow, I can't remember his name. I guess I feel like I should. A big time country star. That's all in my head.
Don't look at me.
I think about it over and over.
Yep,
again. You know
I
what
know what song you're singing,
Yeah,
but
can't go
You know
on
me
not
and names.
loving you. Yep, but
can't
it's
do
like,
it.
nah, of course
Yep,
I gotta
look it up.
But
You
no,
got
it
the
was a
Google.
crossover.
Yeah,
was
I
a-
mean, there was a lot of country crossovers, and I'm not saying there isn't some country music that's amazing. Like, I really, was it, what is it? What's that song?
Who was it? What?
Ah,
Tim
here
McGraw
we
is what
go.
I was thinking.
Oh, Tim McGraw
Yeah,
did that?
it was Nelly
Okay.
and Tim McGraw did a song together.
I like Tim McGraw, the actor.
yeah. Oh yeah, he's an amazing actor.
Um,
yeah, it was a huge hit.
Yeah, no, it was.
It was a
hit.
huge hit. That crossover. So I mean, I think, and
What's-
that was exactly kind of like what you said though. You was like, oh, it's about the girl did this. So
Yeah.
but that's in that crossover was like, hey,
Except
a
for-
breakup, and I can't stop thinking about you.
Is it Little Nas X? What is it
Lil Nas X, yeah.
with Billy Ray?
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that song?
Old Town Road.
Old Town Road.
Yeah. It's,
So,
it's hard to forget that. That
that's-
song played
That
forever.
one, and then and here's my caveat: like a lot of Willie Nelson songs. I'm not saying he doesn't sing
Yeah.
kind of self-centered music, but there's other songs out there that are about other things.
Of course.
Don't let your your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Cowboy.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of,
Yeah.
you know, music, but
Yeah.
I just don't feel like culturally.
Yeah.
I feel like the Dixie Chicks tried,
The Dixie
and
Chicks.
they got shut the fuck
Yeah,
down
well,
for it.
first of all, the Dixie Chicks were on the rise up. You know,
They
were.
were risen. They were big. They were huge.
And then they said,
and they tried to speak out culturally about the Gulf War, about Bush,
politics,
about what was happening,
Yep.
and they got
and
shut
they got
down.
shut down.
And here's what
bad.
gets me: it's only because it was country.
Yeah. Well,
And if they would have, because how many times do rockers say it? How many times do hip hop artists say it?
Yep.
You
but
know,
they weren't the only ones speaking out against Bush at the time. You know what I mean? So there was a lot.
No, they weren't. It's just the
I mean,
country community. How dare you?
Yeah.
And
now
that's
that
where
I think
I'm
about
like,
it, Eminem came out with a song called "White America."
There you go.
Yeah. So it literally said, you know, strap Bush with an AK, go and press Daddy that way. So
See
you
what
know?
I mean?
So I mean, but yeah, no, I mean, but
I mean, did they
moving
sit
back.
there and go, "Oh, that's just
Yeah,
Eminem,"
this-
you know,
probably
Marshall?
because he had a pen waiting for
He's-
whoever.
He's just being Marshall.
Yeah, he had a pen waiting for whoever came
But
in.
the Dixie Chicks know better. Damn it!
They got super canceled before cancel was canceled.
No, seriously,
Yeah.
they're like,
They
you
are
know,
the-
they're up there with Andrew Dice Clay.
I'm
Like
telling
they,
you,
they got
Dixie
canceled
Chicks,
before
They
cancel
were-
was a thing.
thing. Dixie Chicks got canceled before
Aye,
canceling
aye,
was
aye,
canceling.
aye.
Before the keyboard warriors decided to become keyboard warriors, Dixie Chicks got canceled. And,
But I also find it interesting, and you know, I don't claim to be, you know, well, I do claim to be a human jukebox, but not for every generation.
yeah.
I do have a good thing in my head of like 20s, 30s, 40s music for whatever reason,
Yeah.
but and 50s and 60s.
Yeah, I know. I listen to you while you're cleaning. I'll be like, oh Lord, we go. Like that's not how that song goes. Oh, it's a remake.
Yeah. Well, but when I'm cleaning, it's seriously usually B-52s.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's
Yeah,
just you know I'm in there and she breaks for rainbows. You know,
Yeah.
so but if I look back on decades in my head of music I've heard, of music I know, and records I have,
Yeah.
even though you hate my 1900s record player.
We're not even gonna get into that.
He
Keep
hates
going
that
with
thing.
what
One
you're
day I'll
saying.
bring it out,
No, you won't.
and I'll let y'all decide.
Yep, she will be here
It's
long.
not creepy. It's a 1900s Victrola.
Yeah.
Anyways, it just I don't hear that. I hear, you know, what the 20s and 30s was. It was this, you know, shift to kind of party and sex and jazz and that kind of stuff. And then with the 40s, of course, you've got, you know, the war effort. You've got World War II going on. So there's a lot of sadder songs, longing for each other songs, you know, wishing they'd come back songs.
Yeah.
A lot of love songs, a lot of great songs.
Yeah. Well.
And then the other side of that is the really, you know, time to dance songs, you know,
Yeah.
and really doing
Yeah.
that stuff. And then you culturally only had, really, I can only think of either jazz or polka. Polka
Yeah.
was huge. And so culturally, it was like you were either missing somebody and in that romantic mood,
Yeah.
or you were on the dance floor mood. And so, you know, I don't know. In the 50s and 60s, I don't know that Elvis, I can look at Elvis and go, how did he influence the culture? Well, the look, the sound,
Yeah.
but he stole it.
Yeah.
He stole the look and the sound,
Yep.
and
Yep.
definitely the movement.
Yep. No
But-
matter how you feel about it, truth is truth. Yeah.
How did he? I don't culturally, other than fashion.
Yeah. So.
How did he?
Who, Elvis?
Yeah.
I mean, well, he had
I guess music.
Yeah,
huh?
I was going to say he had a new to people style of music. But from a cultural standpoint, there's also the other side of it that we haven't talked about either. How it can give people's views out, can give people a voice for issues that are going on. When George Floyd died, all them songs came out,
Sure.
and like people wanted to say how they were feeling. There was a lot of
Yeah.
demonstrations and going on and stuff like that, but it's through the music where people would listen to, you know, I mean, there was a lot of poets that spoke out, because that's all music is, right? But or some music, but like poets were speaking out, you know, and having a huge influence on the culture itself, because the country was hurting, because it was like, hey man, This is
Sure.
terrible no matter who you are. And it's the same thing with war. I mean, Marvin Gaye. What's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
That's a great war song.
That's a war song that's like, look, stop.
And that goes for
Yeah.
not just war, though. That goes
Yeah.
for us in our country,
In our country,
right
what is
now.
going on? Yeah. That's a song that survived the test of time.
Right now.
Right now. What's going on? Like,
Yeah, but then I look at, like the Beatles. I mean, that was a huge cultural shift.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes.
You
Now,
know,
what was their message? Just like of love and just be happy.
Well,
just
yeah,
music
but
and
I mean,
vibe
in the
too?
beginning, the British invasion, it was just, it was different. It's a little bit harder than the bebop that people were listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But then it did go, into that time of what everybody else their age was doing, which was the hippie thing, and the love and the no war and,
Yeah.
the peace and all of that stuff, and the experimentation of drugs and religion. And that was hard for people to swallow because the Rust Belt and the Bible Belt didn't like that very much. But that's how the kids were feeling, and it reflected that. Yeah.
Because when I first heard Yellow Submarine, I was like, wait.
But you can
What's
watch
going
them
on
grow as people from their first, to, I don't know, pick any Beatles song.
Yeah.
Like, come together.
Yeah.
It's, there's a huge shift in there, and they went with the direction of everybody their age was doing. Yeah. And it reflected. So, at that point, it's not necessarily just art imitating life. It's life imitating art. And, it's both culturally influenced, I think, on each other. Yeah. And you can see that the 80s, everything was bright and colorful. And, we had, the whole, shock the monkey. Yeah. Like, let's not test on animals anymore. Yeah. And
let's
things
not forget
like
our Woodstock years.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what, I was talking about.
That was the Beatles, though, mostly, right?
No.
During that, or was that like a...
No, that was Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin.
Okay.
Robert Plant.
No, all those good guys.
The Who.
Mm-hmm.
The Who.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So...
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no mistake. The effect...
It definitely is.
It has
but right now, what role do you think it's playing in the culture? Because
now,
I
feel like I just gotta be honest. In the culture, I don't like where, at least from a rap hip hop culture, I don't like where it's gone. You know what I mean? And granted, it's the new generation, and I'm sure that it's a new sound. I'm sure when we came up. And what we like, the older generation was like, man, what is this?
It was just noise.
Yeah, so
all I hear, it's
let's
just
be honest,
noise.
gangster rap, people were not feeling that coming from the previous rap. And now we get, let people be like, well, it's mumble rap. And now, like, I got to look at things like this. Now you have female rappers coming out who are 10 times more vulgar than what the male rappers are rapping about. I'm like, hey,
but
I mean, you can express yourself however you want. This is just my opinion. But I'm not saying that, it's okay for males. I'm looking at it as like, then you got the male rappers who raps more about how overly damn near overdosing on lean and all this other stuff.
That is weird.
And to me, I'm like, bro, but what about music? That's the only way you can be creative now is, some type of drug enhancement. But I mean, now when I say that, I'm putting my foot in my mouth because a lot of stuff, good stuff, came from
True.
came from drugs too, but not this extra stuff they got going on now.
But I think music, and depending on the artist, it's only going to reflect the culture of their generation.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you can see certain people will age themselves out naturally, or kind of take themselves out of the topic naturally because they've aged or they have gone on their own journey.
Okay.
And the culture isn't ready for their journey. Case in point, Andre 3000. See what I mean?
Okay.
So even though you and I meditation, lo-fi, while we, work on stuff, we love to have lo-fi going. People weren't ready.
People
for
were
that.
not ready for that Andre 3000.
They weren't ready for the.
What was it? The first song on there is I really tried to write a rap song, but this
is what came out. This is what I'm pulled to.
Now, and so I had to say this. For those who criticize Andre 3000, I mean, I was one too. I was one also when it first came out. I was like, "What the hell?" I put on Facebook like, what?" So, but then when you sit down, you know, and listen to the music, it is really soothing.
We did homework to it.
We did homework to it. It's very soothing music,
perfect
and it's
lo-fi.
very. If you, it's real good lo-fi music. It is his new one. What is like all? What was the instrument he was playing or? Or it's just
so
a compilation.
many.
Yeah,
he was playing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's and you know, a lot of people said bad things about it, but that's also people that they're. I have to say this is just maybe not on that wavelength.
Well, that's what I mean. He kind of took himself out of the culture.
Yeah.
And went because of his own journey that he's on,
and
did as an artist what he needed to do to fulfill his art.
And now I have to say this. For those who are upset with Andre 3000's album, granted it came out about 2 or 3 months ago, and they're like, what the hell is this? But those very same people that can dog him, but listen to, I had to look the dude's name up. This was a Rich Gang with Young Thug, Rich Homie, whatever, Quan, some the lifestyle.
Where it sounds like every other word is cut out.
Yeah. Some of the lifestyle. I was like, bro, this seems straight out of Bad Boys when Martin Lawrence don't know the words to the song. I was like, people are listening to this. This is music. I was like, oh, what? I mean, oh. And the thing is, I've seen people walk around just, they don't know the words either, but it's the hardest thing to you don't know what you're saying. You don't know. You have no idea what you were saying right now. So you're probably cursing yourself. Just don't even realize.
But then, then I have to ask this question: where in the world how does it affect culture? Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Oh,
how does that represent or reflect or
so
view the culture at all?
So I have to say this with the culture.
Sounds like they're beef,
right? So with the culture, and I think one of the main reasons Not Like Us did so big that it did is that Kendrick Lamar, let's go ahead and just say, is a lyricist. And I'm not saying that Drake isn't a rapper,
right?
Because I separate rappers and lyricists. You know, I feel like lyricists speak more from a poet side. You know what I mean? And so Kendrick Lamar told it best in his Not Like Us when Drake is like, hey man, in a nutshell, he said, you trying to come over into our culture and try to act like you've been here. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have it because our music tells a story. Like, okay, so Kendrick Lamar is like, okay, look, man, I grew up in the slums, I grew up in the shit. You know what I'm saying? And I finally made it out like this.
Right.
Drake, meanwhile, I grew up in shit. I remember days that my daddy wasn't there. And for folks who don't know, he talks about days his dad wasn't there. His dad checked him. Like, what you talking about? Look it up. Drake's father was like, bro, what the fuck is this? That's not how it, you see what I'm saying? And then that's what Kendrick is talking about. You try to come over into our music and try to act like you have been a part of this culture when you ain't never had it bad in your life. Right. I ain't never watched Degrassi at all. I've never watched that show. I mean, but Drake didn't have it bad. You were getting money from that already.
Right.
And then you come over there. I'm not saying you can't rap. I'm just saying you don't get to act like
you were already a child star.
Yeah, like you came from nothing, and that's what Kendrick's talking about. Like, nah, bro, like you try to come over.
Same with Nick Cannon. I mean, he's just a Canadian Nick Cannon with lesser kids.
Yeah, but Nick Cannon's not respected in the rap game. Let's go ahead and say that.
That's not what the question's about, though. It's about culture.
But Nick Cannon has not from a music standpoint, he does still have an effect on the culture. Like, I mean, that Wild 'N Out show.
Okay, you're right, but not from a musical standpoint.
No,
and I'm not sitting here defending.
I know you weren't. I know you were.
That to me, Nick Cannon and Drake are on the same page.
Oh, you mean for how? Well,
they're both child actors.
Yes.
It's just Nick Cannon has 20 kids and Drake doesn't.
Right, but you don't hear Nick Cannon rapping about.
But Nick has because of Wild 'N Out.
Mm-hmm.
has put himself into the culture.
Yes.
And
yeah, and brought other people on.
Right.
And it's like, look, man, it's all love. I'm trying to
change in how we see
building
this
people
type
up
of battle comedy.
Yes, building people. Nick Cannon, say what you want. People could call him a corny rapper and all that, but I'll never dog his accomplishments. This dude has put so many people on. You know what I'm saying? This dude has done so much for so many people.
He's affected culture.
Yeah.
It's just not with his
what
we're talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He does stuff that people don't even realize, like trying to build entrepreneurs up. He does a lot of shows about like, hey, how to be entrepreneurs. We have people on his talk show when it was a talk show, talking about entrepreneurship and things like that. But
yeah, no, I think he's a good dude. I'm just saying that culturally with music,
yeah,
I don't see how the Kendrick Lamar Drake thing contributes or distracts from the culture. I don't think it has anything to offer it.
You don't?
What is it offering the culture?
Well, I mean, I think it's number one, it's great solid competition between both. You know, great solid competition.
Okay.
But I also think it brings awareness, not so much awareness. I believe it has identified in the culture that we've gotten so far into, hey, great beat versus listen to the words that I'm saying. Listen to my style. Like, this is what hip hop is. So you think
their beef it actually makes people pay attention to the words,
and that's exactly what happened. Both of them.
But
yeah, that's exactly. That's
a good explanation
of
that.
Like, hey, it made people not just be, you know,
because he said this and he said that.
Exactly. You actually had to. I know I had to. I had to look up what not like us the meanings. Right. I had to look up. Okay, what is he talking about with this? I'm not lying. Like, don't folks don't act like everybody just knew. But yeah, you had to look. Kendrick Lamar is a lyricist. You had to look up what he was saying and what it meant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that it gets back to me of how hip hop and rap told a story from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because it used to be we just come on out and say it, but then now it's got the messages got so confused, and the culture is like, yeah, this is the new. This is what the culture is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mumbling and sipping on lean and not knowing it, like, and I feel like Kendrick brought that back to, no, bro, this is real wordplay. I spend hours and days putting this stuff together. Like, it's a gift. You know, not something that I had to put, you know, this in my body to be like, all right, cool. So, but I'm just
we can't say that without mentioning, of course, Taylor Swift and how she shifted the culture of young girls.
What they call Swifties now?
Swifties.
Yeah, they call them Swifties.
And the bracelets and how she's really catered to that coming of age.
Yeah.
Thing, and I just, I think that's amazing. I mean, I really I don't recall anybody really doing that other than a boy band. Like, I don't recall a woman doing that. Madonna did it for teenagers and older. Taylor Swift affects, tweens.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not like her message is terrible.
No, it's a great message.
It's not like the message is terrible.
Girl power.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And not only that, you name me somebody else you heard about, because if you didn't, folks didn't know Taylor Swift. What she paid everybody, everybody who does all the staff was $100,000.
Yeah,
a piece.
Yeah.
So
bonus.
Yeah, and so she's definitely having an effect. And
she puts her money where her mouth is.
Exactly. It's not just about
she's
pay
a good
me.
Person.
But
she changed the culture though because of the following she had. She changed it and got those girls into football just because she was. Yeah, she's dating somebody.
Yeah,
and I think that's amazing,
that.
though.
I think
that's a shift in culture.
It's hilarious, but it's awesome at the same time.
It's fantastic.
Like
it's old news, but it's still fantastic how it did shift that culture.
Yeah, a buddy of mine was putting up it's crazy that now his daughter now pays attention to the Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, with him asking about positions and stuff because they're waiting for Taylor Swift to appear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm like,
I think it's great. I think it's giving cool. guys, daddies and little girls something to do, and talk about.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
Yeah, and people get mad like, we like to see the game. Well, you do. It's not like they show Taylor Swift for 20 minutes while the game is going.
People get so butthurt
like,
so
calm
easy.
down. Like, you in that much of a hurry to look around the stadium, but whatever. But no, I think we did good on this one. I think we did.
It's so much because it's music and we love music, and
and we listen to all types.
Oh my God, do
listen
we
to
ever?
all types. It don't matter. You know what I mean?
I will say though, the older we get, it's very hard to listen to new music and go, "Hey, ain't that a sample from this song, which was a
Man,
sample
I'ma tell
from
y'all
this song,
right
which
now,
came out in 1960 something?"
It is very difficult to be like when folks
I
like,
hate it so
"Oh,
much.
oh, that is dope." Yeah, well, let me show you where that came from.
Okay, well,
Especially like they don't even try to hide the hooks
let
anymore.
me
They'll say the
introduce you
same-
to Donna Summer.
Yeah, they'll say the same chorus.
It's so
Yeah.
so sad.
Yeah, so I want to say it was J. Cole. Was it J. Cole or no? Don't quote me. It was somebody was like, straight up, now tell me, do you want to be?
That was Paula Abdul.
No, somebody remade that,
Oh, okay.
and people were singing. I'm like, that's Paula Abdul,
Yeah.
literally word for word.
Yeah.
Word, boy. Like straight. It's called Straight Up.
Yeah.
Song is called-
And if you don't remember it, you're too
Yeah,
young to
yeah,
listen to
you're
this
too young. I'm telling you,
podcast,
straight up, now
probably.
tell me, do you- Maybe we'll put that in the TikTok. We'll put that version and cut to. And here's Paula Abdul's version.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, we're not just making this stuff up. It's true.
No, it's crazy though, and the culture always repeats itself. That's the one thing I can say,
Yes.
and it's something my father used to say, and people before
Mhm.
him, like just watch,
Yeah.
and you'll see fashion and music and
Yep.
everything, art in
Come-
general,
come right
just
back around.
go right back around.
Yep,
you know,
because-
and you'll get pickups of those things.
Yep. Because and I have to say this part. One of the big things that the music has on the culture is dress, the way that people dress.
Absolutely,
Because there was a
it's
time-
all fashion.
There was a time when we were younger. If you had rips in your jeans, that wasn't a positive thing.
And that hold on though. That depends on what group you fit in.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I was a mod.
Uh-huh.
What they used to call mod before emo.
Mhm.
There was a thing called mods. And it's we
Yeah.
had ripped jeans.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
we
back in the
wore-
day
we
before,
wore army jackets.
That's
and
back in the day before pound was a hashtag. The pound key was a hashtag.
Exactly. But for you, and I still sometimes see you do it, when you're in there pressing your jeans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Mr. Chicago.
Yeah.
Like you're showing your group,
Yep.
where me, I'm like mismatched pink hair, all the jewelry. Give me more bracelets.
Yeah.
I'm showing my Cyndi Lauper.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the groups I kind of, I showed Ayla, our grandbaby, the other day. She asked me for a safety pin, and I go, let's go get one off my jacket from 1987. And she's like, Mimi, why do you have all those safety pins on your jacket? And I said, because that was the style.
Yeah, back then that was.
We
the
had
style.
safety pins on everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
she's like,
yeah.
oh. And I'm like, okay, one day you'll be impressed by that.
Yeah, she'll figure it out. But
It totally, because you too, and all
Yeah.
of that was,
And
inspired.
I'm sure there's numerous ones we missed.
Like I said,
But
the
it's such a big
52s and-
movement, music itself.
It is, and it does
So,
affect us culturally.
yeah,
and
it
it definitely affects the fashion.
Yes, and so, but anyway,
I mean,
I didn't realize we had talked this long
One
about
glove,
it.
lace gloves, pink hair,
Yeah, I
jelly
didn't realize-
bracelets.
Yeah, I didn't realize we
hoop
had talked that long about it, but it's just great. It's just great. So if you
Awesome.
got anything else, and we do, but for the sake of time, we good, baby.
Just reminiscing.
Yeah,
Flock
same
of
here.
seagulls
Same
here.
here. Well, I tell y'all what, man, that's our show on music and the culture, man. So look, y'all be safe out there, no matter
Please
what.
be
Just
safe.
just be safe, man.
Don't
It's-
talk about it.
Yeah,
you don't
it's-
need to be talked about. They're going to sort it out, and they're going to do what they're going to do, and
Yeah.
you're going to vote, and that's all we can do.
Yeah, if you're stressed
That's
out
it.
about it, change the channel.
Please change the channel.
Change the channel. You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, every channel. No, it isn't. It's just every channel you're watching. Look at
It's-
something else.
As I
So-
say so often on DM Watts, another
Yeah.
damn day in America.
Yep. So hey, all right, guys. But that's our show, guys. Signing off for DM Watts. I am Davey.
I'm Misty.
And we in DM Watts. We are DM Watts.
We in DM Watts,
We
and
in
we are
DM
DM
yeah.
Watts.
We here in DM Watts are DM Watts.
We in that bitch.
But hey, guys, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good one, guys. Yeah, I like talking about